All right, y'all. So y'all should have learned yesterday, how to add decimals. Today, we are going to be focusing on subtracting decimals. It's the same exact thing. The only difference is we're subtracting instead of adding. So let's get started. So let's say I have, and I'm going to start writing them horizontally because that's how it's going to be given to you whenever you do any work by yourself. So let's say I have 63 and 1200 minus 14 and 200. So we're going to subtract. Now remember, the first number in the problem is always going to be the number on the top of your standard algorithm. So I'm going to write 63. Actually, let me write that a little bit bigger. 63 and 12/10 minus 14 and 200. So again, just like with adding, we want to make sure that our numbers are lined up by the place value. So the hint that we use to figure out if our numbers are lined up by the place value when we're working with decimals is we want to make sure our decimals are lined up. So even though I know like my decimals are not perfectly on top of each other, they're in the same line, and that's all that matters. So now I can subtract. 2 minus 2 is 0. 1 minus 0 is 1. 3 minus 4. I can't do that, so I'm going to cross out the 3. I need to borrow from the 6. So this 6 becomes a 5, and this 3 now becomes a 13. Now I'm going to subtract. 13 minus 4 is 9, and 5 minus 1 is 4. Am I done with this problem? If you're at home screaming, no, Miss Soto, you're not, you are correct, and that is because I did not put my decimal point in my answer. Remember, when we're working with decimals, you want to make sure that you put your decimal point in the answer. And if you line up your numbers, all you have to do is just bring the decimal point down, and our answer is 49 and 10/100. All right, let's do another one. Let's do 157 and 2/10 minus 48 and 1/10. So, since they're written horizontally, I need to write them vertically in the standard algorithm. So I have 157 and 2/10. For 48 and 1/10, I'm going to write the decimal point first for this scenario. I'm going to put an 8, the 1, and then the 4. Just in case you're struggling with making sure that they're lined up, you could always write the decimal point first and then the numbers surrounding it, and then just finish the rest of the number. We are subtracting. So now I'm going to subtract. 2 minus 1 is 1. 7 minus 8, I can't do that. So I'm going to go to the 5 and borrow. This 5 becomes a 4. This 7 becomes a 17. 17 minus 8 is 9. 4 minus 4 is 0. And 1 minus, well, nothing is 1. I'm not done because I need to add that decimal point in my answer. So I'm just bring the decimal point down, and our answer is 109 and 1/10. All right, another one. Let's do 37 and 1400ths minus 16 and 3/10. So I'm going to write my first number down because that's going to be our number on the top. 37 and 1400ths minus, and again, if you're struggling with figuring out, like with the lining them up by the decimal point, you can always write the decimal point first and then just write the numbers surrounding it. And then just finish off the number. Now, I said if we're missing any place values behind the decimal point, it is important for us to add place value holders. There is a very special number that has this particular job, and it will be the only number that has this particular job, and it will always be the number 0. 0 will always be our place value holder. So if you have any numbers behind the decimal point or any place values behind the decimal point that are missing in any of the numbers, always fill them in with zeros, okay? So now I'm going to subtract. 4 minus 0 is 4. 1 minus 3, well, I can't do that because 3 is greater than 1. So I need to borrow from the 7. The 7 becomes a 6. This 1 now becomes an 11. 11 minus 3 is 8. 6 minus 6 is 0. And 3 minus 1 is 2. I'm not done though, because I need to put that decimal in my answer. Once I've done that, now I'm done. And my answer is 20 and 8400ths. So again, if you line up your decimals correctly, whenever it comes to your answer, all you have to do is just bring that decimal point down. You don't have to do anything fancy with it. Just bring it down. All right, so now let's change up the scenario.